Happy Thursday, everyone. We have a fantastic little quick work set for you guys today. A little complex work. We're gonna put the brain to the work and get thinking about some flow. But before we get to that, we have some nice warm-up dynamic triangle of 3 to 5 aside, windmill of 3 to 5 aside, plank to bear squat for 3 to 5, and then a forearm plank with toe point for 20 seconds of just continuous steady toe pointing or just holding that forearm plank. 2 rounds of that, and we'll move into our bottom piece here. Humeral glide to knee push-up, 3 to 5, just practicing those positions key to the burpee and the push-up. Butt kick for 20 seconds, tiny skip for 20 seconds. Again, getting those legs fired up, getting that unilateral work kind of working together. And then we're going to finish off with some Kang Squats of 5 reps. And then hit that for 2 rounds. After that sequence, I'd highly suggest hitting a little practice roundup, maybe get some runs in there, plus working on our sequencing today. Our work set is a 15-minute AMRAP. 3 burpees, 10 squats, 3 times. Then you'll go for a run. 3 burpees, 10 squats, 3 times. Then you'll go for a quick little run. So we get a nice little flow, that nice quick 3 set of burpees or squat thrust. Get a nice settled in set of 10, and then we'll hit that 3 times before we hit up a nice little run of 200 meters. So you can pick and choose what you want to focus on in this workout, but it's going to be a cool little work set. You can make it a running work set, a little sprinter with some active recovery, or you can make it about active recovery here and focusing on that little complex we have. So either one, there's no wrong answer. Depends on what you want to take out and work on and focus on in this workout. Let's get you prepped, let's get you warm, we'll get you turned on to this work set. All right, you guys, let's get those feet under the hips. Big, tall stretch overhead. We're gonna reach those arms. We're gonna take it over to one side, a little side bend. We'll come back over to the other side, a little side bend. Come back through, scratch your back, reach through the elbow. We'll come back up, big stretch. Scratch your back, reach through the elbow. Good, come back up, big stretch. And take the arms out to the T. We'll turn them in, and then turn them out. Turn them in, and turn them out. And turn them in, and turn them out. Big stretch. Big reach to one side. We'll reach to the other side. We'll come back through, forward fold. Touching those toes, we're gonna walk up the shins. We'll come down, planting both hands. We're going to step back into our plank, pushing the floor away. We're going to pull the hips back into our down dog. Send those shoulders, and we're going to come back into our plank. Stepping a foot up. We're going to take that inside hand to the sky. We're going to bend at the elbow. We're going to reach straight ahead and pull back with the elbow. Straight ahead and pull back. Straight ahead and pull back. We're going to reach up. And we'll come down with that hand. We'll step back into our down dog, reaching those hips. Come back into that plank as we step the other foot up. Inside hand is going to reach up to the sky, bending at the elbow. We're going to reach straight ahead and pull back. Straight ahead and pull back. Straight ahead and pull back. We'll reach it up. We'll come down with that hand, stepping back into that plank. Setting those shoulders, we'll pull back and up into that down dog. We'll come back into that plank, pushing that floor away. Tiptoe those feet all the way up. And roll ourselves up, big stretch. And shrug. Pull those shoulders down. Let's bring them down to the side. Whew. Let's get you guys ready for action. Now, if you have any extra little upper body stuff, lower body stuff you want to take down, work through, please pause the video, take that down. Come join me for our next phase. We're going to focus primarily on the upper, but we're going to work on a little bit of rotation as well. All right, we're going to kickstart off our day with some dynamic triangles. We're going to get our feet into our sumo stance. We're going to stay here for a little bit. We're going to turn a toe to one side, turn a toe to the angle so our hips are open on the diagonal. We're going to bring our hand to our thigh. We're going to screw the light bulb in overhead. We're going to draw the hip back into that back heel as we come slowly down that shin. We're going to slowly rise up overhead. Then we're going to draw that hip back again into that dynamic triangle. So that hinge of that hip pulling into that heel is what initiates that tilt, and then we just kind of ride it out as we continue. So we're always kind of pulling back into that heel. Even if we don't feel that hip moving anymore, we're we're still drawing back, kind of like an RDL in that sense, but just on a different plane or different angle. So take your time with that hinge, really feel that drawing into that hip and heel so we can really open up the side body and make some space. After that, we're going to stay in our sumo stance. We're going to work on our windmill. So we're going to screw that light bulb up into the sky to set the shoulder and the arm. So that's that position we want to keep them in. We're going to press the other arm down. And this opposite engagement is going to really help engage and keep those shoulders solid as we pull back and rotate. Always reaching the arms away from each other to get that engagement, and then we slowly come back up. Neither arm is more or less important. We want to make sure that both arms are doing their piece as we pull the hip and rotate. That's going to allow our upper body to stay still as we rotate at the low rib. It's going to really help keep that shoulder in good position as we slowly move through that rotation and flow. We have 3 to 5 per side, or you can do 6 to 10 alternating back and forth if you'd like. That works out to the same amount of reps, but it just allows you to stay a little bit more kind of together as we alternate back and forth. One side won't get more fatigued than the other side at once. From there, we're going to move into the floor. We're going to start waking up those shoulders a slightly different way in our plank to bear squat. So we're going to get our hands in that beautiful plank position. So gripping the floor, push the shoulders away, pull the ribs in. We're going to step our feet apart to a hip to squat stance, and we're going to draw the hips back into that low squat position. So hips going towards those ankles. Actively pressing through those shoulders as we push the floor away and press into the ground a little bit differently than when we do our down dog. So we want to think about pressing those arms down. We still have the same engagement factor, that same positioning, and we have a neck, but we're pressing into the floor, into that positioning to keep our body nice and solid as we pull those hips straight back. Now, if you're more comfortable with the down dog, you can do plank to down dogs, but I'd like you to experiment every once in a while with that bear squat to make sure we're starting to build that strength. Doesn't mean you have to go, hip to ankle, just hip towards the ankle to the comfortable range that you have through the shoulder. Experiment with that, mix and match, throw one in between some plank to down dogs just to give yourself a slightly different stimulus, just to kind of slowly start incorporating that into your practice. After that, we have our forearm plank to toe point. So this is a fun one. We have 2 choices here. Again, if the forearm plank is a super hard challenge, stick with the forearm plank, build that strength. So we're going to push through the arms, elbow under the shoulder. We'll step back into our plank. We're going to keep pushing the floor away, pull the ribs in, and hold that nice forearm plank. Now, if you'd like to up it a little bit, we can point the toe, taking away one of those points of balance. But you'll notice as I point the toe, my leg stays even with the other leg. I'm just taking away that point of balance on the floor, but I'm keeping that leg level with its partner. So I'm not lifting the leg, I'm just taking away that point of balance and maintaining that nice long position for that plank. So either one works for me, holding for that 20 seconds in that nice strong forearm plank, or starting to take away a point of balance to work on that instability and building that stability through that position. As a quick recap, we have a dynamic triangle of 3 to 5 a side, windmill of 3 to 5 a side, plank to bear squat of 3 to 5, forearm plank to toe point for 20 seconds, or forearm plank, knees or toes, for 20-second hold. We'll hit that for 2 rounds. That's going to really supercharge that upper body, get some rotation work in there, plus build some good stability through those planks. Set that up, take it down, pause the video, come join me. We're going to start working on a little bit more skill-based work sets and finer tuning some of those movements we'll see in the workout. We're going to kickstart off this work set with our humeral glide to knee push-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves on the floor. So I'm at the bottom of my push-up. My hands are just outside my chest. My elbows stacked over top of my hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my shoulders forward into that dumped position where I don't want them to be in a push-up. And then I'm going to pull them back into that set and down position where I do want them to maintain a strong, stable shoulder. I'm going to pull my ribs and hips in, or my sternum to my belly button, and I'm going to push to my knees, keeping my shoulders over my hands, my ribs pulled in that nice hollow knee point. Now as I come down, I'm going to come forward and down, keeping that elbow stacked over top of my wrist, and then I'm going to lead with my chest and then relax. So once my chest touches, I felt that control, I'll just disengage and I'll reset and do it again. So we start with the shoulder, we pull it back, we pull the ribs and hips in, we push, and then maintaining that good tripod, we lower down, leading with the chest, and relax. So we want to make sure we're focusing on that good tripod position, hands and head. You have that good 45-degree position through that armpit, and we're really trying to maintain that nice tripod as we lower down and come back up as we go. So forward and down slightly, setting up those positions, really good core engagement. So really good piece. You can just zero in on one piece of that push-up that you need to work on or focus on. Once we're done our humeral glide to knee push-up, we're going to move into the butt kick again. So we're going to use this as just a form builder. So we're going to pull with the hamstring as we pull that foot up underneath of the glute. Then we transition, pulling the same way. So as we pull that foot up under the glute, we get this figure 4 position. So we get this nice little 4, and we're feeling that hamstring engage. Now, if you feel your quad engage a little bit or start to fatigue, it's probably a good indicator that the knee's coming out in front in this kind of 90-degree position, like a march, opposed to pulling that foot straight up or pulling that foot out in front. So if you feel that hip start to say hello, or your quad, good indicator that that foot's going out in front or that knee's going too far forward and up, opposed to up and under with the butt kick. You can take it at a marching pace, so just a nice smooth stepping pace. You can jog it, or you can sprint it, or any pace that suits your needs the most to get you prepped. You can start with a walk, start with a jog, low intensity, and then build into a higher intensity run as you need to as you warm up. Our next exercise we did yesterday in between our work sets is the high knee skip. So we have 2 variations of this. We can stay on the floor using that leg and arm to get that lift, and that pulls me off my heel and up onto the toe, or I can follow through with the toe and get a little lift off the ground as I get that little pop, 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 pop. And I get that nice little flow. I'm not leaving the ground too high. I'm just getting a little lift and pop to get some good follow through with the ankle. So either one, it's just going to get that heart rate up. It's going to start charging up those legs, getting ready for that run later on in a different manner. You're going to feel that a little bit more in your quad and hip, where the butt kick you'll feel in the hamstring. So we have 20 seconds of each of those, and then we're going to finish off with a little bit of Kang squatting to open up the hips and those ankles. So our Kang squat is going to be taken at a regular squat stance. Our regular squat stance, toes slightly out, feet about hip to shoulder width, depending on the individual. We're going to start off with a good morning. So we hinge, pulling those hips straight back. Knees are soft, big toes are down. From here, we pull into our air squat position. So we pull our hips to our ankles, and those knees track the toes. From here, we're going to push into those legs as we find that good morning position. So back is flat, knees come soft in a bend, and I'm going to feel those hamstrings lengthen out, and then I stand up tall. So at speed, it looks like so. Draw back into that good morning, feel the hamstrings, pull into that squat, feel my range, push into those hamstrings, and stand tall. Okay? Holding for about a beat in each position so you can feel the hamstring, feel the ankles, feel the hamstrings, and stand. It's going to be a great exercise to help open up those hips and ankles for the squatting in our workout to come. Quick recap, we have a humeral glide to knee push-up for 3 to 5, butt kick for 20 seconds, high knee skip for 20 seconds, Kang squat for 5, 2 rounds. Hit that up, that's going to start building some skill, opening up some of the body that we need for this work set, moving you into that practice round. So let's get you prepped and ready to take on this workout. check that workout description. I'll have a practice round kind of there for you to kind of get that heart rate up and start kind of getting you prepped into what's to come. Our workout today is a 15-minute AMRAP. We have 3 burpees, 10 air squats, 3 times through that little complex, and then you're going to run for 200 meters or an equivalent of a 200-meter run. So the complex involves a burpee and a squat. So I'm going to go through each individual movement set, and then I'll show you what that sequence would look like with one set of the work set. So the burpee, we have 2 variations. We have the burpee and we have the squat thrust. The burpee, we come down, planting those hands, touching chest and thigh, and hopping. Or coming down, stepping, touching chest and thigh, little hop. Or any combination of those 2 pieces. So you can jump back, step back, jump in, whatever you feel comfortable. But we want to make sure that we're focusing on those key points of performance in our humeral block. Making sure, again, we keep our core engaged so we're not snaking our way up, because that puts a lot of pressure on the shoulder and the back. But keeping that tight and also hitting that nice stacked position with the elbow over the wrist so that we can press with that nice stable shoulder and chest position. Now the squat thrust is the non-push-up variation. We can come down, we pop into a plank, we pop in, or we step back and step in. Or like the burpee, any combination of those 2 pieces. We do have a slightly different focus in the squat thrust opposed to the burpee because we're not bending the elbow. What we do though is we focus on that strong pressure against the floor so the wrist is under the shoulder and we have that slight protraction of the shoulder. Same engagement through the core, but we're thinking about being static from hip to head so that those legs can just do what they need to do and just move in and out as the dynamic piece and then pop back up into our finished product. So take your time with that, set yourself up well, make sure we're hitting those key points depending on what movement you're choosing. Now the air squat, we've kind of practiced it during the Kang Squat, but the air squat, we're going to set our feet up in that nice hip to shoulder width stance, toes can be slightly turned out. We're going to take those hips towards those heels. Those knees are going to track the toe, and my chest is going to stay upright. I can reach my arms for extra kind of stability and balance in order to keep the body up. We're going to work on a nice smooth air squat. You're going to hit that for 10 reps, and then you'll repeat through the burpee plus squat 3 times. So what this complex looks like, I'm going to show you one round of the complex. You're going to get set up. You'll execute 3 burpees or squat thrusts of how you would like to take them down, either the step back or the jump. Then you're going to set yourself up into your squat stance, squat for 10, executing those good key points of performance, really focusing on that upright body, that good portion of that foot is nice and flat, weight is to the midfoot, and tall. Once I finish my 10th squat, I'll move into 3 more burpees, set myself up, squat for 10, 3 burpees, squat for 10, and we'll do that 3 times. All right, so 3 times, then you're out the door for a run or your run equivalent. You're gonna AMRAP that for 15 minutes. Our goal again today, depending on what you wanna focus on, can be focus on the complex, try and take those down nice and quick, use the run as recovery, or use the burpee squat complex as recovery and hit those runs hard and fast. Depends on what you want to bring your attention to and what you want to work on today the most. Neither is wrong nor right. It's what you want to do today in this work set and what you want to put your primary focus into. So let's have some fun with this one. Make it yours. Enjoy. As always though, you guys, work for quality, have tons of fun. I'm excited to hear about this one, so let me know how it goes, and we'll see you tomorrow for a little bit more fun and a little bit more core work. Bye, you guys.